Hi, hey, hello. Welcome to a Market Down production. My name is Matthew Lillard. I'm joined by Linda Cardellini and Sarah Michelle Gellar, and we're here to predict the Royal Rumble because it's this Saturday. You wouldn't know by watching WWE TV really lately because it's not really been about that. It's been some good shit, but not a lot of Rumble build. But despite that, we're going to talk about it. We got a jam-packed match card full of 5 matches, including the 2 Royal Rumbles. So, that's pretty par for the course for Rumbles, but still, it's always weird to only see 5 matches on a card, so that's a little bit of a shell shock. But where to start? Oh, I know. We're going to start with the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match, bro. It's going to be totally tubular, bro. You can hang 10 on this match as LA Knight tangos with Bray Wyatt. It's going to be pitch black. What does that mean, you might ask, reasonably, because you've never heard of a pitch black match, let alone a Mountain Dew pitch black match. Maybe you've heard of Pitch Black, the movie, and maybe that movie was sponsored by Mountain Dew. I don't know, but
good movie.
We don't know what this. I disagree. I actually liked it, but I'm still just disagreeing for the sake of it. But it's going to be LA Knight taking on Bray Wyatt. This is the best LA Knight has ever looked in his short WWE career. He is a young, up-and-coming 40-year-old taking on established veteran Bray Wyatt. It's not as cut and dry as it should be. So that being said, Linda Cardellini, whoever that is, who do you think is going to win this match?
I don't. Why? Well, I always thought whatever.
First of all, let's not pretend like being Linda Cardellini is a bad thing in any reality.
No,
it's the better. The freaks and geeks above all. Let's be real.
I get it. I agree. Actually, I think I give off more of a Sarah Michelle Gellar vibe, and I think you give off a great Linda Cardellini. I'm sorry, my bad for the compliment.
Thanks. All right. Okay. First of all, the number one thing I'm hyped about for this match is the fact that Mountain Dew Pitch Black is coming back. Shout out to Gio. So I'm really hyped about that. Secondly, I think LA Knight is going to win this match because I think probably Uncle Howdy or one of these other Wyatt people things that keep coming about, I think they're going to end up interfering and probably attacking Bray. So I know that sounds weird, but that's my guns and I'm sticking to it. So LA Knight in a weird one.
It's not as weird as you think, man. The way the story has been built, it's not seeming like Bray Wyatt facing someone very, very far beneath them anymore. So I think you're very, very potentially on the money there. But that being said, Sarah Michelle Gellar, famous for playing Daphne and Scooby-Doo and nothing else, literally nothing else.
That's not true. She's also famous for being married to Freddie Prinze Jr.
That is very true.
Who's also
who is famous for being a writer for WWE. So it all ties in. So that being said, who do you think is going to win this Mountain Dew Pitch Black match, bro?
100%. The person winning the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match is LA
Pepsi.
It has to be LA Knight because one, Bray doesn't gain anything by winning. He gains something by losing because his story will continue to develop with all of his persona. And LA Knight, who has wowed the audiences with how good he's been doing on SmackDown. His promos, you don't watch SmackDown. Anyway.
I'm just saying, wow is a stretch. He has exceeded low expectations.
I've only heard good things, to be honest, which I don't think surprises me because I feel like everyone has always said in other companies he was great, and then he just didn't really get the time to shine so much, especially when he got to SmackDown and he was doing the modeling thing. But I think now that because the bar got lowered so much that he has exceeded it.
Fun fact, he was the Impact World Champion and only left the company because he didn't want to drop the belt to Tessa Blanchard, which in the long run feels like a really good move, and LA Knight saw like 5 steps ahead.
Didn't know that was him, but yes, Great move.
I agree. I agree. So I'm going to give it to LA Knight. I think he has earned this win. And that's kind of the benefit of how long this feud has been going and how long of a wait there's been for the Rumble. Because if the Rumble was, say, like 2 to 3 weeks ago or even a month ago, I think Bray would have probably won the match. And I think this was a smart pivot, most likely. And yeah, LA Knight winning this match that I have no idea what it's going to be.
It's going to be Pitch Black, brought to you by Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew giving you darkness since whatever year Mountain Dew was invented. Okay, I think you're wrong. Not in who you think's going to win, because I think that the guy who's going to win the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match is going to be the more tubular and totally rad of the two competitors, which is obviously LA Knight, the only one who looks like maybe he surfs out of the two of them. So he's gonna win. All right. Does Bray Wyatt strike you as a guy who does the do? Because Law Knight looks like he does the do, you know.
Uncle Howdy does. Uncle Howdy looks like he does the do.
Uncle Howdy looks like he
Bo
does
Dallas's
meth.
body.
What?
Yeah, fair enough. But I do think that Law Knight is going to win because of shenanigans, like Rev said, where Uncle Howdy interferes and allows Law Knight to pick up the win because Bray is not, he's not cult leader Bray Wyatt. He's not the Fiend Bray Wyatt. He is just a guy, Bray Wyatt. And a guy, Bray Wyatt, hasn't wrestled a match before, isn't a dominant, imposing figure like the other personas of Bray Wyatt. He's a guy figuring things out. But I actually think it's going to be a tie-in with our the next match we're going to talk about. Because I think, and I'm going to give my prediction first on this, I think obviously Bianca Belair is going to retain her title against Alexa Bliss. But I think Uncle Howdy will cost Alexa Bliss the match. And then in return, Alexa Bliss will cost Bray Wyatt the match against Law Knight. And they'll tie into each other, and that'll be a interesting thread between the non-title matches of the show. And I would be a lot more into that than them being two separate individual matches. So I don't think this match between Bianca and Alexa is going to be particularly great, but it'll be okay. I think the crowd will get into it because they'll be interested to see where Bray Wyatt lands in all of this, or Uncle Howdy. Or if there's another Wyatt 6 member, who knows, you know, or maybe Asuka returns here as a more dark persona. We don't know, but I think there's something to this. Even though the match I don't think will be particularly good, I think there'll be enough intrigue and a hook to it to keep the story going forward.
So you're saying, though, this is going to go before the Wyatt match?
Yes.
I mean, they do typically start with one Rumble match, main event, another Rumble match. Not always, but that's typically how it goes.
Yeah, I imagine they open with whatever one didn't.
Last
year.
They don't do that normally. They normally do the first Rumble like an hour in. They start with the title match and then do.
I feel like that's a more recent thing, though. I feel
they
like
only started doing 2 Rumbles recently.
I'd say, how long has that been going on?
Only one.
5 years?
I don't. Which last year was Seth, right? Facing Roman.
Yep. Yes.
Oh, look, hang on.
Okay, but that wasn't. Yeah, the Rumbles have been coming like an hour in. They haven't really been open in the show as much, but
okay. I think according to this last year, assuming Wikipedia has them in order, Seth versus Roman opened, followed by Rousey winning the Royal Rumble. Then there was the Becky Lynch Raw Women's title defense.
Match,
Yep. Bobby Lashley defeated Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship.
And then the Men's Rumble.
No, Edge and Beth Phoenix versus the Miz and Maurice.
Oh, yeah.
And then the Men's Royal Rumble that Brock Lesnar won.
Yeah,
I stand corrected.
Go. Yeah, so
but there was a lot. I mean, I know there was 6 matches, including the Rumbles, instead of 5, but there was a bit more to play with there than the only 3 singles matches on this card.
Yeah, but still, I can't see because I just think they've realized that it's not the best format. Because if that's the attraction matches, you don't want to sandwich everything in between them. I actually think it's better to open with a regular match, have the Rumble at the hour mark, and then have the other matches. Then the whatever Rumble's going to close, which is going to be the men's one this year because there's literally no build to the women's one whatsoever, as we'll talk about a little later. But yeah, so that being said, SMG, who do you have winning this Raw Women's Championship match?
I 100% have Bianca retaining. Even if you take out the Uncle Howdy and Bray of it all, Bianca is just too unstoppable right now, and Bliss is there right now. And I like Bliss a lot. I really do, but she has not been able to capture that momentum she had when she was a more dominant competitor.
Yeah, no, she really hasn't. She's looked bored. She always looks bored. But I have a question, a philosophical question, if you will, because you said Bianca is just too unstoppable right now. But can you be too unstoppable? Aren't you only unstoppable? Isn't that definitive? Can you be too of something that's, if you're unstoppable, how could you be more or less unstoppable? It's cut and dry, is it not?
Right? He's got a point, Sting.
No, that is a good point. That is a good point. I gotta evaluate how I feel about it. I mean, they say the Juggernaut's unstoppable, but Spider-Man beat him.
This is a very underwhelmed thing.
See,
the nuances of grammar. No, just the nuances of grammar,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah. Well,
and word structure.
You could be stoppable and unstoppable, but what's the underwhelmed version of stoppable?
Oh, no, unstoppable.
I was just about to bring that into it, but not as that. Ron Stoppable is above stoppable, I think, on the scale of stoppable. But that being said, Linda Cardellini of Freaks and Geeks fame, who do you have in this Raw Women's title match?
I will make it a clean sweep, and pick Bianca Belair to win. The Alexa Bliss Wyatt stuff does intriguing, Danny. I actually do hope that comes into play, even if it doesn't in the match and happens afterwards, which I think makes just as much sense. I think Bianca winning is just the way to go here because I think it makes for better WrestleMania matches down the line with the Rumble winner, who I will pick later. So I think Bianca is the sensible pick here, and we'll see how the Wyatt stuff ties in. I'm intrigued by what that could entail.
There'll at least be some the Wyatt logo flashing on the screen because it's been a part of every week of the story between the two.
Yeah,
it's like it's gonna happen during the match at some point, and Alexa will go into a trance, and what happens after that, I don't know, but.
Yeah, maybe it costs her the match. Maybe she gets DQ'd because of it. Like that would be a super lame ending. But
they just did that 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, well, there you go.
So that's not why they're having the rematch now at the Rumble.
Okay, then it won't end in DQ. Thank God.
Yeah. So real quick, we're gonna do a put yourself in their shoes situation. If you were Alexa Bliss, and I guess I'll ask you first, Linda. But if you were Alexa Bliss. And one of your favorite bands from your childhood wrote a song about you, and the song sucked ass, would you have the heart to tell them?
See, we've had this discussion before. I love that song.
It's not a good song.
It's not supposed to be a good song. That's why it's great.
What's the argument for that it wasn't supposed to be?
Well, it's not supposed to be like it's just a fun song. It's a lot of fun. I don't think it was supposed to be anything more than that.
I don't think it was fun either.
I like it. It brought me back to like when I first started listening to Bowling for Soup a little bit, and it just reminded me of that. And it's fine. It doesn't need to be anything more than that.
Oh man. You were way too kind-hearted. What about you, Sarah? How would you tell a band that you loved that the song they wrote about you sucked?
I would not. I'm grateful that they did it, and I lie.
Solid music video.
I would say, hey guys, I really appreciate what you did, but you need to do better. Maybe take it back to the studio, or actually, you know what? Rip it, tear it up. Tear it all up and start from scratch. maybe go on a little retreat, try to find yourself, think about what you really want to do and where you want to be at this point in your life, and then take another whack at it and see if you come up with something better than that, or just rewrite one of your old songs. You know, they stole 1985. That's a cover. That's not an original song.
I was
And the
aware
original,
of that.
the original song sounds exactly the same. They didn't even change anything about it. It literally sounds like they just copied the record and put it on theirs. It's blasphemy. It's insane. Anyway, not to get off track, but we're not off track because
We don't go on tangents here. We don't go.
Yeah,
on
no,
tangents
that was intended. That wasn't spur of the moment. So that being said, we're going to talk about another non-Rumble match. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be good. It's going to be fun. It is KO Kevin Owens, the guy with two first names, versus Roman Reigns, the guy with two not real names. No one's named that. For the Universal WWE Undisputed Super Special Awesome Deluxe Package titles. It's going to be a singles match, and it's going to be good. There's the Sami Zayn of it all. There's the Paul Heyman of it all. There's the Usos of it all. There's so many moving parts to this. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. I think we all know who's going to win, but that's okay. That doesn't mean it's not going to be enjoyable. That being said, on three, who do you guys think is going to win? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday! Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, thank you, Danny.
Yeah, Roman's going to win. Do you guys, Linda, what are you expecting from this match besides Roman winning?
I don't know. This kind of ties into the Rumble itself, because obviously everything that happened on Monday Night Raw with the whole Samoan tribal trial thing, and Sami now is going to have like a test at the pay-per-view. A lot of people are speculating the test is maybe that Sami has to win the Rumble so that he can just, lay down and allow Roman to keep the titles. So I don't know how this is going to play out. Maybe the test could be that, at a point where Sami has to prove himself to Roman when it comes to Kevin. It really is complicated. It might depend on when the Rumble is on the card compared to this match. Roman's going to win.
The Rumble main events for sure, honestly.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree, which then would obviously make this beforehand. So in that instance, I don't know how involved the Bloodline gets, because they are probably preparing for the Rumble. But I just got to check if they're in it. All right, as of now, they're not. But it's complicated. I don't think Roman wins clean, though. Like Ken said, I don't think Roman's going to win clean. Whether or not Sami's involved and whether or not he is able to prove himself, or maybe he accidentally does something and almost costs Roman the match, which makes things worse. We'll see how that storyline progresses, but Roman will win. He'll win with the help of the Bloodline. I just don't know to the extent in which they will be helping.
Yeah, absolutely. And just for everyone watching, we are recording this before SmackDown, so we don't know how anything that happens on SmackDown will tie in to the Royal Rumble or to the story or to any of the stories. They might add some matches on SmackDown. Maybe they'll add a cage match between Becky and Bayley. Who fucking knows anymore? But
they deserve that.
Yeah, but I think you put it well. I'd also like to say that despite how it might have sounded a few minutes ago, I don't dislike Bowling for Soup. I just didn't like that song, and I just always try to mention that 1985 was not a song they wrote. That being said, almost great song.
71, right?
Yes.
Nailed it.
And it sounds no different. It's unbelievable. You can play for someone, they would just be like, "Oh yeah, I love Bowling for Soup." But speaking of things being complicated, what's your guys' favorite Avril Lavigne song?
Probably that one. It's the only one I can name off the top of my head. So by default.
All right, Sarah.
Skater Boy.
Oh no, yeah, I was about to say Skater Boy. No, it's Skater Boy.
I was gonna say, you panicked me for a second. I was like, that's the only Avril Lavigne song? Like, is it not an Avril Lavigne song then? I got really nervous with what I was about to say, but I passed.
No, it took me a
cool.
second.
Oh my God, do you guys know that Avril Lavigne wrote the song "Breakaway" that was like Kelly Clarkson's first hit?
I think I did hear that.
A lot of trivia
yeah.
on today's episode, folks.
There's not a lot of matches, so
That's true.
You gotta fill the time
Fill in
somehow.
Sarah, we know who you think's gonna win the match, but what are you expecting from this match?
Heartbreak. I'm expecting Roman to win. I'm expecting Kevin to look like he's going to win because that's kind of been the dynamic of all of their matches.
Yeah.
Where Kevin has had Roman's number, but there's always something else that happens that stops KO from getting the win. But expecting Roman to win, expecting Kevin to look like he's going to win. I don't know if Sammy gets involved. That's kind of like, that's really the big aspect of it, the Sammy of it all. I feel like he's going to. And I think he's also going to be in the Rumble, which is a very, like, if he's not going to win it, is a very ballsy move on WWE's part.
I was going to say, James, I'm curious to see, like, because there's this thing now after the trial that Roman doesn't want to see Sammy until the Rumble itself. So I don't think he's going to be on SmackDown tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or Friday, rather. But I'm curious if Roman tells him, like, hey, don't interfere. And then Roman almost loses because Sammy wasn't there. And then he blames Sammy for not interfering. Or maybe they do it vice versa. Or he tells him, like, hey, like, you could be out there. And then, like, he almost costs Roman and then it gets worse.
I mean, we talked about it a little bit on Monday, Danny and I, when we were talking about the trial itself, how I didn't understand why Sammy was on trial, considering him not being there was because Roman told him to not be there. So I could see that playing into it, where Sammy can't do the right thing no matter what he's told to do and him following it.
Exactly. Because I think Roman's just manufacturing reasons to get him out of there, because I think Roman's at this point kind of fed up with him because Sammy's more over than he is.
I think so too.
So
and the Usos respect him more than they do Roman, I think.
So this is the interesting thing that someone pointed out. I won't give any other podcast credit because they don't exist, but it's not the Usos. It's just Jay. Everyone else is flipped. Jimmy was the one at a War Game saying, or maybe it was on SmackDown, but saying like, oh, like I like Sammy, but you give the word, you give the word. So he was ready to turn on him. He didn't do anything to stop Sammy from being kicked out. It's just Jay. Sammy gained Jay's trust and love, and in a way lost a little bit from everyone else. The one thing though, Jimmy did put, because Jay asks if he did put the ones up, yeah, reluctantly, yeah. Which Solo didn't do. But Solo also didn't go in for the group hug. So you gotta really fucking wear that dude down to get him to do anything that's not killing someone. Fair. All he knows is killing.
The nicest thing he did to Sammy was be like, "Hey, Sammy, you want to come in the ring with me?" Like, that's it. But
there's gonna be, but yeah, I do agree that it's gonna be the blood. It's gonna be like the Usos, not obeying Roman as much, which Jay already has started to do. And I think it's gonna be Sammy. We can end up in a way where Sammy brings back main event Jey Uso and gets him to try to fight Roman again. Like there's just so many moving parts and good things that could come from this. And the other thing I wanted to say that someone else pointed out, because me and James were talking about why Heyman flipped from what he was saying on Friday, and it's kind of someone, again, I won't give credit because fuck him, pointed out that Heyman probably didn't believe what he was saying on Monday. Heyman only cares about protecting himself because he is terrified of Roman. No one is more afraid of Roman than Paul. And he probably just went with what he thought Roman was leaning towards and decided to go all in on that.
That's a good point.
And that's why
Roman told him to do it. Roman could be just dictating to Paul, like, hey, I don't want this guy around anymore. Like,
Also
help me figure out a way to get him the fuck off without making me look like a bad guy, and without the rest of the family turning on me.
Yeah, that's true. But
I think you bring a good point about Jay because, back at the start of this, Jay literally got beat into submission and then Stockholm syndromed, and now Sammy's kind of snapping him back out of it.
And that's actually what I was going to get into because, again, like Danny, I don't want to give anybody else credit, so I'm going to pretend that I came up with this. But that is the mark of good storytelling, which is this whole bloodline storyline started with Jay. And I think that's how it's going to end too. I think it's going to end with Jay versus Roman in some capacity, whether that's a match or whether that's him getting involved in Roman losing the title, however that's going to be. But yeah, Jay is going to be the important piece here, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so insane to think we'd be looking forward to a bloodline story this much. But
just to play devil's advocate,
sure.
I think there is a path to Kevin Owens winning. And I think
on Saturday?
Yes. Just because I'm a big proponent of if The Rock is going to be at WrestleMania, and that is not a given at this moment. No one knows what's going on. But if he's going to be there, I'm a big proponent of that not being a title match. Because I think he should come back and step in because Roman lost, and Roman is not worthy to be the head of the table. He is, and then they have that match.
So that is possible, and I
think that's the only way that Kevin wins, though. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think that's the story they're going with. I just think that is an avenue they could take.
It's a possibility, and Danny, I apologize if I'm stepping on you. It's just, yes, it is a possibility, but the issue is you're sacrificing this gigantic title reign for the match with The Rock. And while I do agree with you, I've always said I don't think Roman and Rock needs the title. I think it's bigger than the title. They've made this reign too important to end at a Royal Rumble.
Yeah, so
you ended at Mania? Sorry.
No, I don't think it has to end at Mania. Like, I don't think it's too big for the Royal Rumble. I just think we're so close to Mania. And also, I don't see the point in taking it off. What's the point of taking the titles off from now to have the titles not main event WrestleMania?
Yeah. I agree. Because if you're doing Roman Rock, that's the main event. That is the main event. Probably like night 2. Like,
what do you mean probably?
Because like they did Austin Owens night 1, and I'd say
that's different. You know that's different.
It wasn't even scheduled as a match technically, so
we knew.
Yeah, but that's that's so different.
But we didn't know it was even going to be a match. We thought there was probably going to be a fight, but we didn't know it was going to be a sanctioned match.
If it was Stone Cold and Roman Reigns, it would main event night 2. That's not a question whatsoever. But like, there's a chance Owen wins, but like I said, I think it's so close. And I think if you're gonna have him lose it before, there's a pay-per-view in Canada right after the Royal Rumble that you can maybe do it at.
Well, all right. Did you guys see? I don't know if this is a spoiler. Did you guys?
Sammy's on the poster.
He's in the chamber
chair.
For Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a poster, and it's in his hometown. But yeah, I do think that's going to be a big part of it that we can talk about more when we talk about the men's Royal Rumble, maybe. But
I don't think Roman wins, though, because honestly, Danny, what you said about Jay being the one to finally beat him, and the main event Jey Uso coming back, has me really intrigued, especially if The Rock can't beat him, and it's Jay who ends his title reign. I think it would put Jay over something fierce.
Well, I don't want Jay to end the title reign. I just want him to go against Roman, after Roman's lost the title, because...
Well, yeah, even if Sammy's the one to take the titles off of him, and then Jay is the one to end the bloodline because of just, Roman probably is going to go batshit crazy once he loses. That
takes over the bloodline.
Yeah, or he
kick Roman out. Like, there's so much that could happen. like there's so many good ways for this to go. This isn't like it'd be so cool if they do this and then WWE does something like, oh, that's not really good. There's so many ways we could be like, oh, if they do this, it'll be cool. But then they do something else and it's like, oh, this was also cool. Like that's the good thing about this is that
he says this, and then Baron Corbin wins the Royal Rumble in main events against Roman.
I think I would laugh at least. I'll get a kick out of it.
I want to boot you back into the lobby just because you said that.
Oh man,
why would you put that in the universe?
I'm just saying.
He's, just imagine the promos between JBL and Roman.
I got a question.
So fun.
I got a question for you guys. This is the best written WWE storyline since what? Brian?
See, but you say written storyline, and Brian's was not written.
Okay,
yeah,
it
well
was
executed.
Manifested.
Well,
Fine,
okay.
Executed, sure. I'd say, ironically, from a written standpoint, it's probably I loved Sami Zayn's NXT rise, where he finally won the title. I thought the storytelling there was top notch. I thought it was the best storytelling WWE had done in a long time. So I guess the common factor here is Sami, but
Shocker.
I don't know.
I don't think you could compare any other story to it because, like, you could say there's better, like, you say, like, The Rock versus Austin, was better than this, but like, that wasn't a long-term story. Those were two stories that came together perfectly. Those were week by week, like figuring things out, and things were just awesome through it. Like, there's nothing like this. There's nothing to compare it to because the Bryan stuff was a movement that turned into something amazing, and like this, you could compare the emotions behind it and the way it made you feel. Because in that case, I compare it to the Festival of Friendship. I think that's the pinnacle of a segment of storytelling, of emotion, when has WWE ever done like dramatic irony before? And the why is my name on this? And you see the back of the clipboard before Jericho does, and it was beautiful. And that's what this segment of Raw was, except just more. It was just more emotional. It was more. It was feel good instead of a betrayal. It was the complete opposite of the Festival of Friendship in terms of outcome and emotion. So it's really tough to compare it to anything else because it's just, I don't know, because it's been a roller coaster. There was some low points like all of 2021 and most of 2022, but the very beginning and the past 6 months of just, oh my God, so fantastic. But that being said, because we could talk about this more a little later, but we're going to move on to the women's Royal Rumble match. I'm going to tell you as of today, as of recording, as of 12:45 in the morning, now what is officially Thursday, January 26, 2023, the year of the rabbit. The only announced names so far are Liv Morgan, Candice LeRae, probably winner Rhea Ripley. What was that? Raquel Rodriguez, Shayna Baszler, okay, Zelina Vega, and probably the runner-up in terms of likely to win, Emma. I think it's a coin flip between the two of them. We could speculate. I think both Bayley, all of Damage Control, Becky will be in this match, and that'll be the running thread of the match that holds it together. I think we'll get a lot of NXT names. I think both JC Jane and Gigi Dolan will be in this match. Personally, I think they're coming up. I think Cora Jade will have an appearance, but still be in NXT. But I think she'll be one of the NXT people in there. You think you get your? Oh, you know what? I just realized now. I'm booking this as I go along. Beth Phoenix is going to return in this match, and the final two is going to be Beth and Rhea. And Rhea's going to eliminate her. My pick is Rhea Ripley. Surprise, surprise, as I think everyone's is. But I'll get to you guys soon enough. There'll be a lot of fun names, a lot of not fun names. You probably won't see the Bella Twins, weirdly enough. They're on one apparently, but there could be some fun surprises in here. There's been no build though. That's the thing with this match. There's some build on SmackDown, like the people declaring themselves for the Rumble, but Rhea's not doing anything to like really show that, but we just think she's gonna win because she's fucking amazing. And it just seems like there's only two people who could potentially win. And one of them just had their match cut from Raw. So, who knows? But there's been absolutely no build. So that almost makes it harder to predict because there's no indication of where the women's titles are going for Mania. So it's really the only hint of unpredictability in this is an indictment on the booking of the women's division. That being said, who went first last time? Linda did. So Sarah, who's gonna win the women's Royal Rumble match?
It's not even really a question, and it's almost offensive that you're doing this. It's gonna be Charlotte. Because why not?
Look, I don't want to joke about Charlotte anymore. It's getting real. These jokes, they're not funny, and then they come true, and then it's less funny. But like you say that, there's a decent chance because now I'm worried that after Monday they're going to unify the titles. So like that's not out of the realm of possibilities. So like, is that your pick?
Are they really going to unify the titles?
I don't think so.
They might.
They might, but I don't think they're going to. I think it's going to be. My gut says Rhea, but I am going to go against you with the Beth Phoenix thing because Rhea's already gotten one over on Beth. So to have Rhea eliminate Beth at the Rumble, then takes away any heat to them having a match, in which Rhea would have to win. So
you think Beth eliminates Rhea? Beth goes on. She beats Bianca WrestleMania. Now, I know that's not where you're going with this.
No, it's not. It makes sense for Beth to come back at the Rumble and confront Rhea, but at the very least, it's not going to be the final two. I don't think it would be the final two. I think they'll have a moment in the Rumble to the point that Rhea does eliminate her, but it's just enough that they can have a match in between.
Like like Beth is distracted, Rhea dumps her over.
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah,
yeah, and then they could have their match at Elimination Chamber, making Rhea look good, even better going into the Mania match. But
so that's you saying that Rhea's gonna win?
Yeah, I have Rhea winning.
On Monday you said Becky was gonna win the Rumble.
I did, but I kind of have it in my head Becky's gonna win the tag titles. I kind of have it in my head that it's gonna be Becky and Bayley going against the rest of the Damage
I was thinking that earlier, but I don't know. I think it all depends on what they do, because I could see it being like because when are we gonna get that payoff to the multiple Becky Rhea stare downs,
Yeah.
So like that might happen. If they unify the title, that's for sure the match at Mania is Becky Rhea. But if they're not, obviously Rhea is gonna win the Rumble, which I'm gonna assume, Mrs. Cardellini, that you agree with that too.
Yeah, I have Rhea winning. Obviously, I think that it's plausible that maybe Beth eliminates her, but I don't think that's gonna happen because I think, for me at least, the money match is Rhea versus Bianca at Mania. They've been building to that for a while, and I'd like to actually finally see it happen. So that makes a lot of sense to me. So I have Rhea winning. I think I said this last year and I was wrong, but I'm going to go for it again. I think Raquel Gonzalez is going to have a good showing. She might have the most eliminations.
She will definitely have a good showing.
She's definitely
where she belongs. No, I'm kidding.
She definitely didn't have a good showing last year, and I was dead wrong on that, and it burned me. But Triple H is back in charge, and she's a former NXT Women's Champion, so I think she might have the most. It does to Triple H.
She's a former tag team champion.
Okay, that doesn't mean anything. But sorry, Mercedes. But no, I think because Triple H probably likes her more than the former regime, I think she might have the most eliminations. And she's booked as, you know, as a stronger person. Like she probably should have the most eliminations. It makes sense. I'm trying to think of random appearances we're gonna get. And
first of all,
Kelly's minus money.
God, please keep her out of this fucking Rumble. Like,
she's in all of them now. Kelly.
Who? Oh, yeah.
She's minus money to show up. She has to be.
She's missed at least one.
I don't think so.
No, because they did one where I'm pretty sure they had like no returns in the pandemic one. I'm pretty sure they didn't have, like, it was literally just NXT people and main roster people.
All right, then you know what? Yeah, fair point. But I would also say that's special circumstances.
She's made all the ones she was allowed to make.
Yeah.
But like, she's so bad.
She's gotten better, which is weird because she's not in the ring as much.
No, I don't know what drugs you're on, but please pass them around to the rest of the class. Like, the fuck, man.
They're gone.
But Raquel has been booked exactly the same under Triple H as she was under Vince. Except Vince gave her a title. That Vince wasn't booking her poorly either. Like, what just happened when she had a good title match against Ronda? She looked great in defeat, but came up short. She had the same exact thing in the summer when Vince was still there. Like, the same exact thing happened. So it's literally not much different. Like, Vince wasn't booking her too poorly. The Rumble before, she was just an NXT person. So, like, of course you get booked poorly. But when she came up to the main roster, Vince was soft pushing her, which is the same amount of push she's getting now. But I think she'll get some eliminations, but I think Rhea might get the most in victory, and they'll just really like super push her. But that being said, yeah, I think we get Lita again, maybe Trish, maybe I think we get Ivory. I think we get a return in Doudrop under Piper Niven.
That would be cool.
That makes sense, assuming she's healthy.
I think she is. I think she's just been staying off TV to like.
Well, she was hurt, right?
Yeah, she was initially hurt, but I do think Danny's right. I think they've just been waiting for her for the right moment to bring her back. I read something online, and I want your opinion on it. I know this is the prediction show, but somebody suggested that WWE needs to stop doing the 30-woman Rumble and maybe just make it a 20-woman Rumble because they really don't have the numbers to sustain it.
I wouldn't be opposed. Also, just because, and not even just because of that, just to 2 Rumbles is a lot. Yeah. It's a long time, but I do like that we have the Women's Rumble.
Yeah.
But like that, the thing is, I just don't think there's a way to do that without it sending the wrong message.
Yep.
Which it shouldn't, like, that shouldn't be the case, but I think that's just how it will come off. And I'm not blaming anyone for that. Because the thing is, and this is where we end up sounding harsh, or I guess I end up sounding harsh because someone thinks Kelly fucking improved over here. But like, Kelly is not a freaking legend. She was just a person that was there. She is the person that horny dudes in the crowd cheered for because she was hot, even though she was a chipmunk face. But like, like she didn't offer anything of value. I rag on the Bella twins all the time, but at least they became characters with personalities after 7 years or so, and 3 of those years not being there or whatever. Like, like they at least became. What is Kelly? Just what is Kelly's character?
I don't know, man. I wasn't watching back then.
I think, as someone who was watching back then, I do think objectively she did get better in the ring. But hear the whole thing.
Sure.
That doesn't say much considering where she started. If she somehow managed to not get better, it would be more impressive.
Yeah. So like if I was playing baseball and I had a 100 batting average after a whole season, and then the next season I had a 113 batting average. That is an improvement statistically, but it's still really, really bad. And not deserving of a Hall of Fame induction, which he will guarantee to get at some point in the next few years because everyone gets in. You know, like Alicia Fox is not a legend. And like that's the thing is they don't have as many people to get those kind of pops. And we're at a point now where NXT call-ups don't get the same kind of pops because of we've been conditioned to care less. And even, you know, I still think there's something to the fact that AEW has siphoned away a lot of the hardcore fans, that they're just not going to these events anymore. So all WWE crowds are inherently more casual now. But that being said, I'm sorry, Barbie Blank or whatever your real name is, if I've offended you. I'm sure you're a fine person. From all accounts, I haven't heard you say anything outrageous or Ronda Rousey like, so you're probably a nice person. But also, why were you tagged in Karen Jarrett's tweets? I don't understand that. So you know what? I'm on your side about that, Kelly. I got Kelly's back on that one.
That's fair.
But we need like.
Let me hop in for a second.
Man.
I wanted to comment on the 20 woman Rumble thing too, because I think you're right, Danny. Like, there's no good way to do that without it coming off poorly. But it would make for such a tighter match. Like, there's with the men, I don't think there's filler, but there's not as much filler in the men's Royal Rumble than the women's. I feel like
there
a lot
is
of these
sometimes too, though. But
yeah, it can happen. But
last year.
Well, I was gonna say the year Brian got eliminated, everybody after that was filler.
True.
But I feel like if you did the 20-person women's Rumble, like you could have a couple of those big returns, but you wouldn't need to just fill in. You know, they have 7 women announced right now. That's another 23 people. I don't even think they have another 23 people signed. Like.
They do. It's just they're all in NXT.
Yeah. I was including them too. Like, it just doesn't feel like they have a big enough roster. But you're right. There's no way they could do that without making them look bad. And so we're good. We're gonna have to be resigned to having the Kelly Kellys of the world coming back. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, sorry that you're the scapegoat in this, Kelly. Again,
yeah, I have no problem with you coming back. I was just saying.
Well, you should, and it's weird that you don't. But you know, there's something to be said about that, but I think you just need to establish more women. You got to just have your roster be more over so that you get the pops. Because that's the thing, like bringing out like Tamina again, you know, God bless her little heart, but like she's never going to get a reaction besides the ironic one a couple years ago. And I think we've learned from that now. But you know, like there's just certain names that just aren't going to get. That poor woman, she's had a really long career and probably is making pretty good money and is related to The Rock. Poor her. She's doing fine. All things considering.
I was going to go off on a tangent.
No, go. We're already off on one.
Is anyone else shocked that they never brought her into the bloodline?
No. Why would? Come on.
Nah, not really.
I feel like, man, they were like they had that little thing with Judgment Day. Just have Tamina come in to be the woman to square off against Rhea and get wrecked. I'm surprised they just never pulled the trigger on it.
I'm not surprised at all. I feel like I don't have to explain why I'm not surprised. But okay, so we all got Rhea winning this Rumble. That's good. We all have the go-tos as a surprise. I can't think of any. I was going to say like Candice Michelle.
She specifically said she doesn't think she's going to be in this year's Rumble.
That's cool. So did Michelle McCool, but I'm pretty sure she's going to be there.
I was about to say Michelle McCool's showing. Taker was just there.
Bro, bring Layla in. Layla's.
I would rather Layla.
Yeah,
better than all these people we've just named.
Did the Melina one happen in front of people, or was that like?
I don't remember. I think it was. I think it was she was in the first or the second one. Yeah, it was one of the first two.
Okay.
But yeah, bring back Melina who still wrestles. You could bring back Mickey again. It won't be as as big of a deal, but it'll still be cool. Bring Victoria and
No, I don't think Victoria would. She just wrestled her first match in Impact in like 8 years, so I don't think she's on the board for WWE.
Mickey James was the champion for Impact last year, so you can't.
Well, that was an accident. They didn't know.
Yeah.
And now they especially don't care.
No, but my point is, like, Impact was cool with it because Impact gained the ability to put their title on WWE TV. I don't know that they're just going to want to put anybody from their roster in the Rumble.
Yeah, because they're not going to mention Impact. They're not going to.
Who cares? But then people will Google her and then be like, "Oh, she's wrestling in Impact." It's all about search engine optimization, people. But anyway, it's gonna be a. I actually can't say for sure it's gonna be a fun match because there's no build, but I hope it will be fun. Good luck. Good luck to Becky and Bayley, who will no doubt be the Iron Woman of this match throughout the whole fucking thing. So now we have
last one. I'm so sorry.
Sure.
Odds Naomi returns.
Oh, I don't give a fuck. But moving on. If Mercedes Moné returned, that'd be interesting. But also that's who would more likely join the bloodline is Naomi than Tamina. But which would be the only interesting. I don't want to go on a tangent about Naomi because again, she's good, but like
it's nil. Chance of her going back are nil.
Yeah, she seems cool. No, they're not nil. They're better than Sasha's chance.
Non-zero.
Yeah, she's probably like a 12, I'd say, 12% chance. But anyway, we're going to talk about the men's Royal Rumble, which is no doubt going to main event because unlike the women's match, it has a build. I'm complaining about that. I'm not disparaging the women's match. I wish it had a build, but it just hasn't. But for the men's, the build is involved people who might not even be in the match, so it's a little bit of a mystery. But here's who we have announced so far. We have Kofi Kingston looking for redemption for his botch last year, not for getting back in the title picture. We've all let go of those hopes. But we have Santos Escobar, who might take Kofi's spot with the crazy spot. Also, I hope Casey Catanzaro does that in the Women's Rumble. But anyway. We have Ricochet, who will not do as good of a spot as Kofi, but will probably do something. We have Austin Theory, who is just a background player in life right now, so he'll be in the match for 30 minutes plus and not do anything of note, besides maybe eliminate one or two decent big names. We have Seth freaking Rollins, who will probably be the Iron Man, will probably be the number 1 entry or number 2 entry. We have Baron Corbin, who, as James said, is going to win and then go on to beat Roman in a dog food on a pole match. We have Rey Mysterio, who has one job in this match and one job only, and that is to be eliminated by his son. We have Gunther, who is in this match to chop people over the top rope, assumedly, and then be eliminated by Brock Lesnar, hopefully. We have Omos, who will be terrible, who will be so bad in this match, who will be the Shane McMahon of this year's Royal Rumble.
How do you eliminate somebody who's that big?
And that sweaty. Actually, Shane's better than Omos. I'm sorry, Shane. You don't deserve that.
He's the best in the world.
Yeah, we have Drew McIntyre, who is destined to never reach the heights he once reached. We have Sheamus, big old Shamey, who will have a great showing but be eliminated by Austin Theory for heel heat. We have Braun Strowman, who will hopefully be eliminated by Ricochet specifically, or a surprise cameo, James Ellsworth, or by Sami Zayn individually. Or no, he'll be eliminated by Solo, actually. Even though he's not listed on this match, I'm just assuming he's going to be in there.
Wait, who's going to be eliminated by Solo?
Braun Strowman.
Oh, God.
Yeah, single-handedly by Solo Sikoa. We have Karrion Kross. Oh my God, I forgot he was still here. bro, remember when he came back and he was like mixing it up with in the title scene with Roman and Drew? Like, and by mixing it up, I mean standing there while they were feuding. Fucking, he works here, bro. Oh my god, he's gonna get eliminated by Madcap. Who's not even announced for the match, but man, talk about
That's
a guy.
so mean.
Is it? At least Madcap got over to some degree.
That's true.
So it's not great at all, and I don't even like Cross enough to really defend him. But objectively, he is on SmackDown every week feuding with Rey Mysterio.
I thought Rey Mysterio was feuding with Gunther before.
No, Braun has been feuding with Gunther. Cross has basically been stalking Rey this entire time.
Cool. Okay, so he's moved on from his feud with Madcap Moss. Gotcha. But that was who he was feuding with. Like,
yeah. Maybe even like more recently, if we're being honest.
And then we have the earmarked winner, supposedly, of Cody Rhodes, who is returning from tearing his pec clean off like a mad lad. He's back. He's got a little nose piercing. He's crying already. He's gonna get booed because he is not Sami Zayn, and he deserves it. And if I could have the floor for a moment, like I haven't been talking for the past 3 minutes, but Cody, you deserve this. You were great. I love you, Cody. You're one of my favorites. I called it from day one of Legacy that you were the guy, not Ted DiBiase Jr. And you proved me right. And you're great. And I think you were the best babyface for the first year of AEW by far. You're fantastic. You're so good, man. You deserve to win the WWE title. You also deserve to win the AEW title, but for some reason you put a weird restriction on yourself for that. To avoid nepotism. But anyway, you deserve to get booed this Saturday. Not mostly because you're not Sami Zayn, but you've always deserved to be booed by a WWE crowd because you don't get to leave the company you helped create because you're getting booed too much and because they didn't accept you as the blue-eyed white meat babyface that you wanted to be so badly. You don't get to leave and get all the love and adulation for returning to WWE, for returning home. You kind of, it's cheating. You've cheated your way into the pops, to getting back the pops you had when you first started in AEW. You couldn't figure out a way to get the crowd there to cheer you anymore. So you had to up and leave. So this is overdue. You're overdue for a crowd turning on you again because you refuse to change with the crowd and with the times. So you deserve to be booed for not being Sami Zayn. Okay, you deserve the Rey Mysterio treatment from 2014, not the Rey Mysterio treatment from 2018, okay? It is great that you're coming back. If you dethrone Reigns, great, because that means Reigns won't be the champion anymore. And I still want that despite praising the story so much earlier tonight and this past Monday. But you're not Sami Zayn, and you need to be taken back down to earth and realize that this crowd can turn on you too, and will turn on you without a doubt. We're going to do it at some point. It's inevitable. So you might as well do it now. No, there's not us being. Cody is the fickle one here because he is refusing to change. So who's really fickle there? It is Cody, and you deserve this, and it'll humble you a little bit, and maybe you'll actually learn something this time and change. That being said, welcome back, buddy. I hope you have a great showing. But I think Cody's going to be number 1 and Rollins is going to be number 2. Which, that being said, I hate that, even though I think that's what's going to happen because I am so sick of people going the distance in the Rumble. Edge really ruined that for me. I'm not going to lie. So that being said, Linda, who do you have winning this coin flip? Or really, 3-way coin flip?
This is, what is that, like a 3-sided dice roll? This is honestly one of the more wide open Rumbles I think we've had in a little while, just because, it seems like Cody has been earmarked to win this, but then again, obviously, there's the path for Sammy. There's a weird path where Jey Uso wins, and your main event Jey Uso thing starts coming back. The Rock is always lurking in the background here. There's a lot that can happen. Assuming The Rock doesn't come back. Because if he comes back, he wins. It's automatic. Assuming he doesn't come back, I do think it's Cody. I think that's what they were positioning him for before he got hurt. So if it feels right, it's weird because the Sami Zayn of it all is really interesting. There is that, and again, this is a small spoiler for people. There is that Elimination Chamber thing where he looks like he's in the chamber. So if he wins the Rumble, I highly doubt he would be in the chamber, but that could all just be, promotional shit. It's not really worth anything, so to speak. I'm going to lean Cody here. Sammy winning would be crazy, but I do think the path to Sammy winning is Roman challenges him as his last test of loyalty or whatever to win the Royal Rumble so that Roman doesn't have to face anybody of note at WrestleMania, and then eventually that all breaks down and they end up having a real match. But I think those are my top two picks.
Oh man,
but come on.
Imagine a world where a heel champion wins the Royal Rumble and just actually has the night off for WrestleMania. That'd be kind of funny. But yeah, everything you said makes sense. Bobby Lashley's in the match too. I feel like I skipped over his name, but yeah, that's the thing. And me and James talked about this a lot on Monday. They did a really good job of making the fans accepting of Sammy going for the tag titles instead of the world titles at WrestleMania. Like, that's how good that segment was, because honestly, the idea of Sammy having to fight Jey is more heartbreaking now than Sammy having to fight Roman. That's how good that segment was. If you haven't watched it, I mean, there's no way you're watching this if you haven't watched that segment, but let's pretend. Go watch it, cry about it, and then come back here and reevaluate your decisions. But that being said,
Control T or Command T to open a new window so that you don't have to leave this one.
Yeah, there you go. Look at that, our tech guy over here giving the tips. I would have never known that. Sarah of the Michelle Gellar variety, who do you have in this men's Royal Rumble match?
I say it, I feel like almost every year. Oh man, it could be so many people, and it's really not true. It's usually down to, like, if you're lucky, 2 or 3 people. This year, no, it is genuinely so wide open, like Nick said, that it's frustrating in a way. But the frustrating aspect of it is it's wide open with people we don't even know if they're in the goddamn match. We don't know if Sami Zayn's in the match. We don't know if The Rock is coming back. Thank God they let us know Cody was coming back. I know a lot of people question that decision. I understand it, even though if they announced, no, I can't even. I get
You needed him for the poster.
Right? I get him being announced. There are rumors Austin's coming back. There are rumors that Randy Orton is going to come back, which I think is ridiculous, by the way. I don't think Randy is healed to come back. There are rumors Riddle's coming back. And granted, I don't think Riddle is winning the Rumble, even if he is the surprise return at fucking 30. I don't think he's winning the Rumble. But there are so many possibilities that we won't know until we're watching that it's nearly impossible to predict. My head says The Rock. My gut says Cody, and my heart says Sammy. So when you mix it all together, Triple H is coming out of retirement to beat Roman.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Someone's got to tie Austin's record for 3 wins.
Exactly.
Might as well be Triple H.
Cody makes the most sense for the landscape that is WWE. Sammy makes the most sense for the storyline that they've been building with the bloodline. And The Rock makes the most sense for the magnitude of the match. I was going to say, what if we live in a world where like Cody and Sammy both eliminate each other in the end and they both get the shot at Roman?
And they split the titles.
All right. I do think that's kind of a big part of this too, by the way. I do think
agreed.
we're going to get the titles split. And maybe that is what happened. Maybe they both win the Rumble. But the problem is they've booked Roman too well that losing the first night and then losing the second night seems, one, impossible, and two, whoever wins first is immediately going to deflate whoever wins the second night. So unless they do a Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho, Chris Redacted, where they have a triple threat match, the first fall is for one belt, the second fall is for the other belt, which I don't think they're ever going to do again.
I always liked that idea.
I love that idea, and I think they've only ever done it the once. But
yeah, right?
I think Cody wins, and as we discussed on Monday, Sami Zayn is destined for the tag titles. The trick here is doing it in a way that doesn't get Cody booed. And I think the only way to do that is to have the Usos screw Sami.
So I don't understand why we're trying to avoid the inevitable booing of Cody Rhodes. I think you might as well just rip that Band-Aid off now. You know, there's a handful of certainties in life, and we all know them. It's death, taxes, God is real, and people are going to boo Cody Rhodes. What was that one, Ref?
Chris Kreider in front of the net. It's a hockey joke.
Cool. Yep. What a universal reference. Everyone got that for sure.
James got it.
I did. I was proud.
Yeah.
That's two references to the fantasy football chat in this episode.
All right, Taco. That being said, yeah, Cody's gonna get booed. That's fine. But not when he comes out. To be fair, it's just when people start to realize they're gonna look at him for a bit and be like, you know what I just realized about Cody? He's not Sami Zayn. That asshole. And that's where it all starts. But
I would like to add one thing. I think we do underestimate here on the pod how over Cody has become with the casual fan. Because when I could tell you firsthand, when I was at WrestleMania and the notion of Cody returning, that crowd was so eager. They were eating up the possibility of Cody coming back. They wanted it. They were like, this is the best choice. I don't get it, but it's what they wanted.
Because it's exciting. It's not like those people weren't clamoring for him to come back before that. It's just that, oh my God, you hear Cody's coming back. That's exciting. That's tangibly exciting and interesting. You can't deny that. And it would have been like that if anyone of the EVPs, or not really, if Kenny came, or if Mox came back,
specifically Nick Jackson, not Matt.
Yeah, but you know, there's a reason for that, and it's not, again, Cody is great. Like I'm saying all this, Cody is still one of my favorites. It's just I feel like what he did was like, I don't know. I still just think it was not a good look, and it's hard to take that decision without feeling a little slighted as an AEW fan, even though a WWE fan to me has enjoyed it. But even then, all he's done is face fucking Seth Rollins over and over. But that being said, there's a chance that they just fight each other again at WrestleMania. Like you can't rule that out because we don't know anything else besides Cody fighting Seth Rollins.
I was gonna ask, is Seth still heel? Because I feel like I was gonna say
no.
He's not, because
he never did anything to out and out become a face. It's really just who he faced, and the crowd loves him.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, if he was still heel and they were going to eliminate Cody, he would have been my choice to do it. But he's facing it, so I don't think it's gonna happen.
I think you still do it. He's the most over person in the company, honestly.
I also don't need that again.
Besides Sammy.
Yeah.
No, we don't need it again, but that doesn't mean we're not going to get it again.
It would be interesting. It would be. We're talking long term here, which I think is possible. There is a reality of, you're right, not wanting Cody versus Seth again, but the dynamic could be different now if Seth is the babyface and Cody is the heel.
Yeah.
And then Cody as a heel takes the title off Sammy.
Yeah, there we go.
The only wrinkle in that is how hard Cody fought against being a heel in AEW, to the point that I don't think he will be a heel in WWE. And if he does, it'll be a long time. Really long time.
I also don't think you could do the first Rhodes, and I mean that as a family lineage, WWE Championship win as a heel. That feels dirty.
Yeah, okay. The guy has a nose piercing, bro. Why are we cheering him?
The guy has the nose piercing we could survive. The neck tattoo.
I was gonna say, that's your problem, is the nose piercing.
Bro, there's so many things where, like, if your friend did that, you would roast the shit out of them. And this guy just keeps doing these things. He doesn't learn.
Keep letting him get away with it. It's our responsibility to boo him.
Yeah, it really is our responsibility. Like, he needs this, okay? We need to whip him into shape. But all right, some quick rapid fire questions. Who has the most eliminations in this match?
Gunther.
That's a good pick.
I've been sitting on that for about 20 minutes.
That's a good pick.
You don't think it's going to be Baron Corbin or Omos?
No, I think it's going to be Gunther. I'm looking, honestly, I think he's the person I'm looking forward to most in this match, because he's got so many cool, like, stare downs I think he's going to end up having. Because
I genuinely think he's going to chop people over the top rope. Like, he's going to get multiple eliminations like that.
Yeah, and it's going to be sick.
Aren't there little guys that he could do that to?
Ricochet,
Kofi, Santos, Ricochet, Austin Theory, Rey Mysterio, Cody Rhodes.
But if you look at the people just announced, you got Lashley, you got McIntyre, you got Sheamus again, you got Strowman, you got Cross, and then Brock is on the poster. Brock is coming. I don't know in what capacity. He's going to be in this Rumble, even though he's not announced.
I mean,
that's the money one for me.
Based off of Monday, he's going to have an interaction with Bobby.
Yeah, but I just want a Brock and Walter. I almost called him Walter. A Brock and Gunther interaction. I need it. It'll be awesome.
Yeah, it'll be great. I think.
But any interactions with any of those guys are going to be sick. And yeah, you're right. He's just going to be chopping little people over the fucking over the top rope.
Oh, you think Hornswoggle is going to be in the match? But I think that you're on the money that he'll have the most eliminations, unless Solo is in the Rumble. Then I think Solo will be that person.
Yeah, he's another good pick too.
Probably the greatest NXT call-up of all time. But only other argument's Kevin Owens, right? There's like nothing else.
Like to start or like in total?
I mean, I guess you could only say to start because Solo's only been there for like 4 months, but pretty perfect so far. Especially when you consider where he was in NXT, which I didn't think was not much.
Two-time North American champion.
Yeah, but that was at the end, right? Like,
well, he had one reign before he got called up.
Gotcha.
And then he won it again when he got called up, and then they like stripped him.
Yeah, they did that stupid stuff. Okay, gotcha. Who do you think is the number 1 and 2 entrants? Do you think it's Cody Seth, or do you think we go a different way?
Man, I don't want it to be Cody, because I don't want Cody winning from either of those positions.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I think it will be, but I don't want it to be.
And I want there to be some anticipation, but it's got to be somebody big.
Oh, okay, I got it. Drew and Sheamus, 1 and 2. Do that.
That would be fun.
Yeah. I think Drew being in the top 2, though, makes a lot of sense. Because I feel like if you have Drew's music hit at 1, like that'll get the crowd really amped up for the match.
Yeah.
I also think it's a nice play on when he won the Rumble. and Brock was number one and went through everybody, and then he came in halfway through. I think that could be a nice play on that.
And then Ricochet kicks him in the balls, and Lesnar puts him over. It's all there. All the pieces are coming together.
It's like poetry. It rhymes.
All right. Who do you think lasts the shortest amount of time? You can speculate on names that might be in here that aren't listed.
I think Omos. I think Omos.
You think? I think Corbin. I think Corbin gets it this year. I think he gets the quick elimination. But Omos,
I mean, there's always the Miz.
Love it to be Omos.
There's always the Miz who can do that.
Is the Miz in the match?
Not
yet, but he'll be in it. Like, come on.
Well, how many open spots are there?
They have announced half.
Match? Yeah.
So there's 15 open spots.
Yep. And we got to assume that Brock is in it. So you got 14. And then,
I mean, you got to assume, you could assume that the Bloodline Sans Reigns is in it. So that would leave 10 spots. And then you got to.
Aren't they doing a tag team title eliminator on SmackDown? Are the Usos going to have a match at the Rumble?
It's not
at the Rumble, no.
Not as of now.
So there could be some spots, but this is going to be a good match because if Sammy and the Usos are in it, this match is going to be amazing because it's going to be such a good story. And that's also a possibility. Sammy could be the number one entry. That could be part of the thing.
The thing that Roman wants him to do, like the final test, if he's won.
Yeah.
But I feel like that just assures that Sammy won't win. I feel like if he's won, he's not winning.
But that's okay if he goes the distance and then falls short at the end. Like that's
and then he's Iron Man. Yeah.
Like that's fine. You can do that. But
also, I was just going to say one more person we forgot that it's probably going to be in it is Dom.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was literally just about to say Dom Mysterio too.
Yeah.
And it's going to be great. Oh, well, he's going to save, Rhea's going to save him like 4 times. Like, someone's going to throw him out and she's going to catch him. Like, that's going to happen.
Finn and Priest are probably going to be, well, at least one of the two, Finn or Priest is going to be in it.
And Priest is going to look amazing in the match. They'll both be in it, but Priest is going to look good in it because he's been on a roll lately.
Did you guys see that graphic? I think BT Sports WWE account put out like the 5 wildest things that could happen in the Rumble, and one of them was Rhea might be in it in the men's Rumble.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I wouldn't hate that, but I think she's going to win the women's, so that'd be
that's
heavy
the thing.
lifting.
If she wasn't
pun intended.
But here's the thing too. Even if she doesn't win the Rumble, the women's Rumble, the issue becomes a lot of her appeal right now is how dominant she is and getting beat up and beating a lot of the guys. If she's in the men's Rumble, she's not winning it. And that means she would have to get eliminated. And that's not a good. I mean, would any of us complain? No.
Oh, are you kidding me?
I think she'd eliminate a couple people. I
meant the 3 of us.
Oh, okay.
Any of us complain? No.
But, no, because then you could have Rhea Ripley versus Roman Reigns. The R's are just going to roll off the tongue. And then you have Raquel Rodriguez making a triple threat. And it's all coming together.
It's starting to sound like a Marvel comic.
But
I can tell you. I can tell you what's not happening from that graphic, and that is Jay White is not showing up.
He really isn't. These
people
got to get over it.
Doesn't he have a match like 2 weeks?
February 11th and February 18th.
Yeah,
the February 18th match kills the February 11th match.
Yeah,
well, real quick, with just to wrap up the Rhea thing, the thing is the appeal of her right now isn't just how dominant she's been. There's also a running story about her, fighting the guys and not getting her comeuppance. So the Rumble could be the place where that happens, but I don't think it will be the place that it happens. But that's the thing is, if it doesn't happen at the Rumble, where does it happen? Because she's going on to face Bianca at Mania. Where do you ever get that payoff?
I mean, next year's Rumble, if I'm being honest. I think there's a difference between Rhea being in the Rumble and then when they put Nia Jax in the Rumble. Because when Nia Jax was in the Rumble and she got her shit rocked by everybody, Everybody loved it. We were happy to see Nia Jax get her shit rocked.
And they'll love it. We'll love it when Rhea gets hers too, because it's been built. The crowd will love it. The crowd loves Rhea, but they're also, every time a dude thinks about hitting her, the crowd is super invested in it. They're into it. Like,
they are, but more of a, are they actually going to do this? Not
no, it's literally, she keeps hitting the dudes and never getting a receipt. The crowd wants her to get the receipt. The crowd popped when Baron Corbin hit Becky Lynch with the end of days. Like, we're terrible people.
Wow.
Terrible people, but it started with a pop. It was a cheer, and then it turned into
I think it was more like, to quote Mac from Always Sunny, I think it was a gasp. I think they were going for gasps.
It was a holy shit.
I don't know. I think Rhea getting her shit rocked now would not get the same reaction it would get next year.
What if she eliminated
next year's too late? I'm just saying, like, but yeah, you don't have to do it now. I'm not advocating to do it now. I'm just saying, this seems like an okay. But if she already won the Women's Rumble, it's not going to make any sense. Yeah. But like, there's just a window. If you don't do it at the Rumble, the window closes until like the summer, essentially. And you know what? It'll probably be Edge. Edge will probably spear her, and that'll be that.
And then pin her the way she pins everybody, because that's just what Edge does, apparently.
You've been talking to Beth Phoenix or something? Or
I just watched it. I've watched it for years. But
okay. You had a point you were gonna make, James, before I cut you off?
Not a point, but two other, like, I don't know if you're gonna bring them up, but like, are we gonna talk about possible
yes.
Okay, you do it then.
Okay, I don't know what you're gonna say, but all right. Real quick, because we didn't cover it in the Women's Rumble. Do you think Kairi Sane shows up? No? Cool.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. Because no, she'll still have the title by then, but no, I don't think she'll show up.
Yeah. But that would have been nice. And now the big question, the important one. Someone we've all overlooked somehow. Forget The Rock. Forget Cody Rhodes. Don't forget Sami Zayn. CM Punk showing up this Saturday at the Royal Rumble.
Was that a serious question?
Of course, it's a serious question. Now,
considering the man is A, still hurt, or at least in recovery, and B, still under contract with AEW, I'm going to go with no.
Yeah, there's no way.
Bro, Vince McMahon's coming back. All right, we can't rule anything out anymore.
Oh, he's got
wrestling.
No. Vince McMahon, there was a ticking clock on when he was coming back. We were just all too optimistic to hear that clock ticking. CM Punk is under contract with AEW.
We put that ticking clock and covered it with a pillow, put it in a box in the attic.
And everyone wants him out because the Elite are throwing their weight around to push everyone out of the company.
Except Colt Cabana. They're specifically keeping Colt Cabana around, but everyone else pushed out.
Yeah. So, all right. That being said, what names did you have, James, in mind?
Well, I was gonna say, who do we think the returning surprise veteran's gonna be, and do we think there's gonna be any NXT call-ups?
I was wondering about
I
the
said
NXT.
Toxic Attraction for the women.
For the women. Okay. And do we think there's going to be a debut of any type? Like a signing kind of debut?
Well, like I said, it's not going to be Jay White.
Yeah, not Jay White.
Not Jay White.
I guess we could have Matt Cardona and Chelsea Green in the run.
Okay,
well, one's a surprise return. The other is Chelsea Green, who's great, but not in WWE. She'll get crickets when she comes out, but.
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is all just leading to James saying Zack Ryder and being happy.
Woo woo woo! You know it.
I don't know.
I love that song.
It's so good. I'm curious with him because he got the naming rights back as opposed to WWE when those rights lapsed. So, it'd be weird if they were like, "Yeah, we'll let you take the name and then come back." So then we don't have the name anymore.
Impact. He is still with Impact. He might not be under contract as far as I know, But I do know that as of last week, he was still in storylines that aren't going to end this coming Thursday.
No, also, I assume that they probably would have to tape more stuff to end the storyline. So then he's probably still working.
Yes.
So that would be weird. I'm trying to think.
Roll it out though.
Actually, no, they do. Their tapings, they just did them after the pay-per-view 2 weeks ago. So it is possible that they're going to write him out in the next few weeks, and then he's done as of that last set of tapings. But he would still be on WWE and Impact TV at the same time for the next few weeks at the very least.
Be cool.
It would. It
Hadn't
would
happened
cool.
in a while, I guess.
Yeah, it would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. But
who in NXT could come up?
I don't care.
I don't. Yeah, like, I don't even know. I'm not even
there
trying
is
to
one.
champ
There is one that I'd be. There are two that I'd be cool with. Carmelo Hayes, who people are really gonna love when he gets on the main roster, and Joe Gacy.
Sure.
Like the Bray Wyatt of NXT. So if either of those two debut, or at the very least just made a Royal Rumble appearance, I think it would be cool. But yeah, other than that, I don't think Breaker is going to be in it. I don't think Grayson Waller, people are going to care.
Is Ilya I don't know how to say his last name. The guy, but
Dragunov?
Yeah, Dragunov. He's still under contract.
He just came back, actually. I think.
Just
Same
for the
thing,
Walter
Tyler
interaction.
I would actually be really cool with Tyler Bate just coming up to the main roster through the Rumble.
Yeah.
But I have a weird feeling like for a guy so young, his time has passed.
Which is weird, right?
Yeah, that's an interesting thing to say. That kind of makes sense, though.
Right.
Oh, you think Jeff Cobb? I know he's not Jeff Cobb anymore. You think he's going to be in it?
Like from New Japan?
No, well, yeah, but isn't he back in WWE? I'm not crazy.
I don't think so.
Talking about Jonah.
Oh,
yeah, he's Jonah. Bronson Reed. Oh, I confused Reed and Cobb. I'm sorry.
Okay.
My bad.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, Jonah. Yeah, Jonah.
He would be great for the Rumble. I don't know where the fuck he's been since he debuted, but he'd be great for the Rumble. He's a big guy.
I mean, Miz hasn't been on TV, so he hasn't been on TV.
Yeah, so he's not around. I don't know where Dexter Lumis has been. Gargano's not on this list. There's so many people that aren't on this list, and we're like,
Gargano's hurt.
Yeah, he's hurt.
Oh, he got hurt.
Lumis will probably be in the match. He'll have a fun ish or really corny spot. It could go. It's a coin flip. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, there's a lot to look forward to. There's just so much potential with this.
No veteran spot we're calling? No veteran spot?
I couldn't think of one.
The Carlito of it all, or
I don't care, honestly.
I always like them. If there's one,
I know I like them too. I can't think of any right now that I care enough about that it's because like I feel like they're gonna do one they've already done, like how they did Hurricane twice and just wasn't the same the second time.
I know I just said his name. I would be cool with Carlito because he returned during the Thunderdome one.
Yeah, I'm always cool with Carlito.
Pun.
You said it first, but
did I?
Yeah. There's no one where it's worthy because I'm like I wouldn't mind seeing Chris Masters, but that would get like fucking crickets.
Yeah.
Ted DiBiase Jr. to interact with Cody. That'd be fun if he could stop selling houses or cars or whichever he does.
I thought he was going to jail for tax evasion or something.
I would love. It's kind of like a meta one. I would love if it's Bo Dallas.
Bo and after all the Howdy shit happened.
Yeah. Like he comes back as Bo Dallas. And the Uncle Howdy stuff still happens, and he is Uncle Howdy. It's just treated as two separate things, kind of.
That's interesting.
I think that'd be really cool.
Big E returns. Big E makes his return, and everyone cries tears of joy.
At this point, I'd be happy if Xavier returned. He's hurt.
Yeah.
Right, so we'll see. NXT call-up, Kofi Kingston will be in the match, though.
That's true. That's true. Good luck. Bro, it's a tough roster out there, but I think you'll be all right. But yeah, I feel like we've covered everything. We went way longer than I thought. I feel like we're really heading towards a 35-minute episode, and oh boy, Have things changed?
Penny with the post-production talk on live there. But yeah, we're at about an hour and a half, yo.
Yeah, so we're gonna wrap it up. Enjoy the Rumble, guys. Let us know your predictions in the comments. No one, let us know what surprises you think, or comment after the Rumble. Let us know what you think. We'll be covering it though. We'll be talking about it afterwards. You can catch us coming live from James's house. It's gonna be the three of us and Eric. For sure, it is Rev's birthday, so every time the clock hits 0 during the Rumble, shout out happy birthday. Rev will
And
hear
drink.
you. Yeah, oh my God, be careful with that. Don't pull out Jeff Hardy, bro.
Well, don't take shots, just have a sip.
Yeah, that's still 30, that's 60 times. Yeah, that's a lot.
So it's
Yeah.
like 2 beers.
Let's not get into this on air.
Yeah, only because we've gone long. Otherwise, we would get into it. But have a good night. Don't drink and drive. Be nice to animals and just be nice to people in general, or be sarcastic to people. Both are more or less the same. Yeah, take care. Spike your hair. Woo woo woo. Mark it down, bro.